Hello, this is Fabrizio.
Marco.
Gabriel.
Welcome to Calcio Worldwide. In today's episode, we have a special guest, Christian Cuozzo.
Thank you. How do you feel that you're the first guest on Calcio Worldwide?
I'm very honored.
He's very honored indeed. Well, I mean, on a platform like this, come on, man.
Yeah, I know. We're happy to have you.
Yeah,
Even
well,
though you're former Juventus.
and starting off, guys, we had a crazy week in the Champions League and the Europa League, but Inter Milan first. I think this went down exactly how we all predicted it to go down.
Yeah, Inter came in doing what they need to do since the beginning. They've got the extra goal with Lautaro. Lukaku changed the game, and they did what they need to do. And I think they're gonna beat Real in the final. City in the final.
I just think the way Inter played, I hate giving them props, obviously. But this is what you want to see from a team who's in the final, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Inter did not let Milan do anything at all. Honestly, it was completely one-sided, and that idiot on Paramount, what's his name?
Mike Grella.
Mike Grella, that guy is like, oh, you cannot say Inter completely dominated Milan. You cannot say.
No, that was really
like
dumb.
This guy. What an idiot! Like, what game were you watching?
I know.
Yeah, I think Inter played exactly how they wanted the game to go. They didn't let Milan make their moves. They didn't play well. Inter are able to defend, and you can see with the subs they have backup, so they could just continue going.
Exactly.
Literally, Brozovic on the bench. It's an unreal sub.
Yeah. I think when you look at the bench, the quality of both, compare Milan and Inter. Like Milan don't really have much coming off the bench. Who's going to replace Giroud, right?
Yeah.
Inter, they could start either Lukaku or Dzeko. They could rotate it. The class Inter have on the bench. Brozovic didn't play.
Inter are the better team, but the thing is, we're forgetting that Milan in the first 10 minutes were playing better. They missed a sitter with Brahim Diaz. After that, Leao missed a big chance. If Milan score those two chances, which when they are in red-hot form in the past, they would have finished those chances. They would have got back into that game.
All I'm
That
hearing,
is true.
but this is woulda, coulda, shoulda. This stuff did not happen.
Yeah.
10 minutes is not 9
Why?
minutes.
But let me
It's
ask you
not a
something.
majority of 90
Why
minutes.
didn't it happen? I'll tell you. When a team is in great form, you will score those goals.
Okay, but whose
Brahim
fault is
Diaz, it's just Milan in general. They're not in good form. Brahim Diaz against Napoli in the league, he scored a tremendous goal. I guarantee you, if Milan was in that form, he would have finished.
This is just excuses. I guarantee you, if Milan were in that form, well, they would. You can't Inter at their best versus Milan at their best. Inter's still gonna win. Can we all agree on that?
Because they worked
This
better as a
season,
team.
yeah.
Well, Inter's the better team, but
So what are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say, if Milan is in good form, they will finish those chances. They will.
This is just all coulda. You're like Mike Grilla, all right?
No,
I feel like you and Mike Grilla were watching the 2003 version.
You're like a
No,
deluded Juve fan that
Okay,
just
again, that's
doesn't
not
know
gonna be
anything.
bad. Okay.
No, he's right though. But literally, Brahim Diaz's shot, you have to score that. It wasn't even like a good. Props to the goalie, but you have to score that.
Yeah.
Like
That close
it's
to the net.
easy. You're professional. Like footballer, you play for Milan.
Exactly.
That should be
Yeah.
that should
No,
be easy
I'm not-
goal. And that one goal would have completely changed the momentum of Milan.
Exactly.
No, of
They would have
course.
so much more.
Of course, but what I'm saying is this is all coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
just
that's
excuses, okay? Form or not, it doesn't matter. It's up to you to show
you're
up
right.
in a Champions League semifinal in a derby against a team that you've played before. I have a question for all of you. Pioli, should he stay or not?
Yes.
I think he should
He,
stay.
I don't think the problem's fully him.
It's
Milan
not.
need more players and better players.
Yeah.
And also you have to take into account that they played a tough opponent because Milan hasn't beaten Inter the last 4 games either. They played.
Another thing, though, when we were watching the game, I remember I told you, Milan made a big mistake. Think about it. We're talking about Champions League experience. Divock Origi, I'm not saying he's an amazing player, but he's won the Champions League with Liverpool. He's gotten far with them. He scored big goals. Salas Makers has also been in great form. Pioli made a mistake. He put them on in like the 70th minute.
that was
I would have
smart.
put them on halftime.
I even think Origi played well in the first leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I think he should have started him over Giroud because Giroud didn't really do much these 2 legs. Yes, he scored against Napoli, but then these two legs come. I don't really think he did anything.
But what do you what do you want Giroud to do? Do you want him to explode past players? Giroud is a player that needs service.
No,
That's the wingers' fault.
But that's Milan. That's Pioli's fault because to build a team, you have to understand your players, and clearly Milan were all over the place. While Inter, everybody was in sync, and everybody understood each other. That is really what makes Inter such a deadly team.
No, you're right. And Milan was all over the place.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the goal, first of all, Lukaku comes on. I'm not gonna lie, this guy is in form. He changes the game.
What did I say in the beginning of the podcast?
He changes the game every single game.
He's amazing.
Every single game he comes on, he changes the game. So he gives an assist to Lautaro. Yes, okay, they connect well. I get it. Did you see the Milan's defense on that goal? I forgot it was either Kalulu or Tomori. How are 3 men on Lukaku and then you not shift to Lautaro? Obviously, Lautaro's wide open. He's gonna pass to him. How do you not shift?
Kalulu just left him.
Kalulu's been out of form for Milan for a while too.
Yeah.
I think that was the wrong substitution.
It was. And then Magnan, listen, as a keeper, your first instinct should be to cover your near post. That's a keeper. Like that's a go-to. Not even keeper.
That's a rare mistake from him.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It just was a bad night for me.
I was gonna say I gotta go back to him. I agree with him. If they were in form, if Magnan was fully in form, if Kalulu always was in form, it wouldn't have happened.
But like I'm saying, this is all.
I know. I'm just saying.
Let me just say, this shows the lack of experience of Milan compared to Inter. They had another leg to make it up. Okay, 2-0 is big to overcome, but they can still do it. They've done it.
Yeah. Look at Sheffield. No,
I mean, but look, guys. I think Milan still have a lot of stuff to work on. Inter was clearly the better side. We said before, the way Milan's path to victory is relying on their key players that can make something happen. But the truth is, like you guys saying, we're talking about form. If those players are not in form, if you rely on those few players and they're not in form, what do you got? You got nothing.
No, you're right.
But let's talk more about Inter. I feel like we haven't given them enough credit. This is the thing with Inter and Milan. I'm going to compare you some players. Junior Messias, Davide Calabria, and who's another one? Renat Krunic. Compare that to Nicolo Barella, Denzel Dumfries, Alessandro Bastoni. You see the difference of quality between Inter and Milan. Inter's quality, and I think Inter, they didn't do well in Serie A this season, but in terms of quality, they have the best players in Serie A. It's in every position.
As a team, I think
and I think Inter were phenomenal this game. Defensively, they're an incredible team. I mean, Matteo Darmian, he's taken Milan Skriniar's place. Acerbi's taken De Vrij's place. Simone Inzaghi's got everything right. The wing backs, Di Marco and Dumfries shut down Leao. I've never seen Leao play so poorly in my life.
I think Dumfries, when this tournament is over, obviously there's one more game, I think he deserves to be in the team of the tournament.
Yeah.
Inter has been heavily underrated, and we'll get into that later. Mm-hmm. Listen, I hate giving Inter props, but they did what they had to do. This is a good showing for Serie A, and anything else, guys?
Well, I have a question for all of you. This is a tough one because Inter has a lot of great players. I want to mention Onana, 6 or 7 clean sheets in the Champions League. He's probably been the best keeper in the whole tournament. Who is Inter's most important and best player?
I mean, but like we said, we talked about Inter, right? We talked about their squad depth, that they have so much variety. Everybody plays on the team. I don't think there's a clear answer to that. Because, but guys, look, everybody, if any one of those players are having an off game, another one will step in to take its place. They could take certain players out and bring another one on. I mean, Lukaku had his amazing games. Checo as well. Dumfries. I mean, these are all guys that sometimes don't always start. It's rare, but I mean, I don't think there's a clear answer, I'll be honest.
I don't think there's a clear answer for best player. For most important player, I gotta give Barella. Without him, the midfield, you can give your shout about Brozovic, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan. Barella is that horse in the midfield that will go back and forth for you. He will bleed before you guys lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll kill himself for you guys for Inter.
He's the engine of the team.
Yes, exactly. He's the engine. That's what I'm trying to get at. Without him, I don't think they flow properly.
I also, because you mentioned Dumfries, I also want to say, literally without DiMarco, he's such an important player. And just by looking at these two games, both Milan and Inter have the best left backs in the league by far.
Mm-hmm.
But after these performances, you could really tell how DiMarco changes Inter. Defensively and offensively.
Yeah. I think
he's so good.
I think Inter's most important player is Barella. I agree with you. I think their best player is Lautaro Martinez. I think this guy, out of all the strikers, even Lukaku, I love Lukaku, Lautaro steps up always in the big games. He always steps up. Every single derby, he always steps up.
True.
Big games, he steps up all the time. Maybe not for Argentina, but for Inter, for me, I see a resemblance of Diego Milito.
I mean, well, guys, I want to go back to DiMarco, and this might be, a lot of people might disagree with this, but I think DiMarco, at least this year, I think he's better than Theo Hernandez.
Oh,
I agree. No.
I mean, look, Theo Hernandez is like a modern style player. He's a fullback that attacks. He does this crazy stuff, but for an Italian team, and for me, I do not want that. I want a player that's so defensively sound, can whoop crosses in as well. I want a classic fullback, and DiMarco is the best at that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I agree.
Closing this off, listen, we'll talk about this later, but Inter, I think they proved they belong in the final.
Yep.
Regardless of what people say. Yeah. And but going on to the next game.
Wait, one last question though. Who should start in the final? Lukaku or Dzeko?
Dzeko is the guy to start, and Lukaku is the super sub.
Lukaku can change a game.
Yeah.
Dzeko can start a game.
Exactly.
I think
we know, guys. Come on.
I think it depends. I mean, City are. I think I would actually start Lukaku, only because I want the physicality against a team like.
But Dzeko coming on, I feel like won't give you as much as Lukaku coming on off the bench. Like Dzeko will give you his all starting.
Honestly,
but I don't think coming off the bench.
Whatever Inzaghi does, I trust him.
Yeah, he's proved it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, but guys, let's now get back into Real City because this was a crazy game.
Oh my God.
I mean, picking a winner was tough at first. Before this result, and then. No, I don't think anybody expected 4-0, though, if you pick City to win.
I didn't expect that, but I told you guys that City was going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, look, listen, you first picked Real, then you picked City.
I said City was going through.
I think you picked Real.
Well, I mean, the first game, anyway,
I said City was going through.
Okay, well, whatever. Listen, City, what more can you say? They completely dominated Madrid. I've never seen Real Madrid dominate like that, at least in years.
Besides Barca.
And this was incredibly impressive, scary. I thought Bernardo Silva was the man of the match. Even take away the 2 goals, the way this guy was running up and down, he's causing problems for the defense. Real did not look like they want to be there.
No.
And I think they had the same problem with Milan in the fact that, if the individual players don't have a good game, that was it. Ancelotti, I mean, it's tough being a manager because you mess up once, people are going to point the fingers at you. But playing, what's his name? Help me out here, because
Modric, Cruz.
No, the
left back.
Yeah,
Camavinga.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. He did get it wrong though this game.
Camavinga left back. I mean, I could see why he played him again because he had a great performance the first game. You can't really.
Yeah.
But he was exposed this game.
I don't think that was the main issue. I think not starting.
I didn't say that was the main issue. I said that was one of the issues.
Starting Rudiger. When Rudiger shut down Haaland, why would you take him out and
that was a big mistake.
I think there's a lot of mistakes because Ancelotti, first of all, from like Real Madrid fans, I see that they're really getting mad at him because he's going with like Cruz, Modric, and I mean, he's not saying Valverde, but they want Tchouaméni to start, the young player. And I get it because listen, I know Modric is the Ballon d'Or when he's Modric, and Cruz is one of the most important players of this generation in midfield. But guys, they're old against a City team that will run miles around you. You know what I mean? You can't start these Modric and Cruz together. Maybe one of them, not both. You need a young guy like Tchouaméni. Maybe even go Camavinga up there. But he was playing really well.
I mean, a lot of the players on Real are aging, except for certain ones. But I will say this though. that while this is an impressive win, I didn't like the bias of the commentary. And after the game too, everybody was like, "Oh, City." Even Rare from Craig Burley on ESPN. I usually agree with most of the stuff he says. He's like, "Oh yeah, if Inter make it, if City go through and they verse Inter, it's going to be completely one-sided," which is completely disrespectful.
He really, that guy I watched. I agree with you. He really, a lot of them, they just disrespected Serie A.
Right.
We have 3 Italian teams in 3 finals. And the fact that
It's not coincidence.
he was just saying Milan are not a good team. Okay, I agree. Milan are an average team. I agree with that.
Not average. I'd say
No, right now they're
they're like a B- team. I mean,
They're
right
not-
now they're like average.
They're decent, but
They're so
Inter
consistent.
Inter are a good team.
Much better.
And no, he goes Inter are a good team. I think Inter are a great team actually. Inter, I don't think anyone in the world right now defends the way Inter do.
yeah, no, I agree. But to say Man City, I mean, look, listen, this is impressive. 4-0, that's ridiculous. But to say that Manchester City will just run circles around Inter, I mean, they destroyed Madrid. Inter are not Madrid. They play completely different from them. And, I mean, so, the game, football, soccer, calcio, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last 5 years. I think we could all agree. If you actually really follow this sport, the game has gone downhill. The best players in the world now, save for 1 or 2 players like Holland, are still players from the previous generation in their 30s. Modric, De Bruyne is now 30 years old.
Everyone's a robot now.
Everybody, yeah, no. What does that say? All these players are now past their prime, but they're still dominating. What does that say? That the game has gone downhill. You're right. The game has gone downhill. Real Madrid's an aging side.
Mm-hmm.
The Bayern Munich didn't even have a striker. These wins are impressive. Yes, I don't want to take that away because it's no question City are the most dominant team in the world right now. But I see people saying Inter, worst team to make the Champions League final. What does that say about City then? Because City they're only getting by because they spend billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And while the rest of the world has no money.
Inter, 0 mil on Onana, 0 mil on Acerbi, 0 on Mkhitaryan, 0 on Dzeko. The list goes
And they're all
on.
starters.
Yeah.
Cheap. DiMarco cheap. Like all their starters, they got for almost nothing. City, they should almost always make the UCL final with their budget and the players they have. And that's not to disrespect them. That's just how the game is. They make more money.
And also, people say that if City wins, they don't say, but they have the argument that Pep can be the best manager.
No. You managed big teams your whole life, failed for 10 plus years with City. No. But let me just, I want to rant about this just real quick. Those people saying, Man City, we're going to run through Inter. Okay, look, let me just say this, okay? If you actually know about the sport and you watch Inter play, there's a saying in MMA, styles make fights. It applies to this sport as well. The styles make the game, okay? Pep, yes, he's managing a different team. Yes, he has a complete different team. He's never changed the way he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Manchester City play the same way Barcelona did when Pep was managing them. Inter, which is funny enough, they play the exact same way right now, like they did when they won in 2010. What happened when Inter played Barcelona in 2010? You know what I mean? Everybody was shitting on Inter. And look, listen, guys. The rest, I hate to say it, but the future of this sport rests on Inter right now. Because if Inter wins, we talked about their transfers. It shows that you don't need money to spend ridiculous amounts of money to win.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I agree.
What?
Go on.
I mean, guys, look. It's just. I think this is disrespectful to the sport. I understand most people don't watch Serie A. Most people are casuals. They don't keep up with the sport. Inter have all the tools to win this. I'm not saying they will absolutely win this, but to completely discredit them and to back up Manchester City just because they have, they're scoring a ridiculous amounts of goal, whatever. The styles make the game.
But
Right.
look, these guys said the same thing about England, Italy, and Euro 2020.
Exactly. That's another thing that
It's
reminds
like,
me.
I remember, they're like, oh, England has more, Italy, this. A final's a final. You never know who wins. But I don't want to disrespect City too much. Listen, I've watched City actually. They're probably they're the English team I've seen the most this year, besides Arsenal. City are tremendous. They move the ball very well. Their players move off the ball like tremendous. Like they got world-class players.
No, nobody's disagreeing with that at
And
all.
in the game, I have to give a shout out to Kyle Walker. I thought the man was phenomenal. Like he shut down Vinicius Jr. That guy is probably the best right back in the world. Bernardo Silva stepped up. He's another tremendous player. Like this is not we're not talking about Kevin De Bruyne. We're not talking about Erling Haaland. We're talking about these other guys that stepped up. Akanji came from Dortmund, and he's really been
great.
City's best defender this season, along with Ake, who didn't even play. So I have to give City and Guardiola a lot of credit because they really did change football in some way. They play beautiful.
For the worst.
They really do. They play beautiful.
It's because money.
But what upsets me is the money, and what upsets me is these people talking down to the underdog. You can never disrespect an underdog.
I mean, be careful because Inter will bite you if you make mistakes.
For the final, at the end of the day, it's just one game.
Yeah.
Your performance only matters for that night. No previous form, nothing.
No
it
second
doesn't
leg.
matter if you could perform. Possession doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, that's it.
This is
And Inter could do that. They did in 2010.
I think City don't play well.
I mean, I think this match, we were talking about the key matchups before. You said with Dumfries and
Dumfries and Leao, just like Walker and
Vinny,
Vinny. They both did. They were exceptional.
No, it was a right back.
So I think Inter have the players to neutralize Haaland and players like Haaland, players like Bernardo Silva. It's going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
But to completely count on Inter is ridiculous. If you just say Manchester City are going to walk through Inter, you're ignorant.
No,
that's it.
exactly.
I mean, look, listen. I'm not saying maybe that could happen. Maybe, but
To say that's definitely going to happen is wrong.
no. Let's look at the facts here. Okay, Inter, they're a well-rounded team. They have a great bench. Okay, they're extremely great on defense. Okay, Manchester City, they're very fast. They're very formulaic. They have a system. They're system based.
Yeah.
Okay.
And their bench is incredible.
Yes. So they have very similar play styles, except there's one thing. Inter are even more organized than Manchester City.
In the back.
In the back.
Yeah, I was just saying the back.
No, but
Not up front.
Yeah.
No, but look.
Because if you look at Pep, the way he makes them
his
play,
players,
it's like,
Okay.
oh my God, they're
This match is closer than a lot of people say.
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
No, it's going to be a great game. Like, it's
Yeah.
not going to be that one-sided, boring
I'd
game.
say
It's
this is
gonna be a
one of the
great
best
game.
Champions League finals we had in years.
I agree.
I mean, Liverpool, Tottenham, guys.
Last year was really good, though. I thought Real Liverpool was
No,
a good
that
game.
was-
That was a great game. I feel like the Champions League is now finally getting better, but this match is like a David Goliath match to me. Like Chris said, it's a one-match thing. If you put City versus Inter in 2 legs, I got City going through. But if you get in a 1-leg game, I really could see Inter.
I have to disagree.
No one's home.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
advantage.
Istanbul.
And I think the Serie A teams do this best, but I have to disagree. I don't think this is a David versus Goliath match. I think of this more as the alpha gorilla is getting challenged by another one who wants to be the alpha. Because Inter is not a David. David's was a small little kid versus a 7 foot tall, 8 foot tall man. And if Milan versus City, I would say that's a David
But
versus Goliath match.
why I'm saying that is because City got all the money.
The budget.
And Inter don't.
No, that's true. That's true.
In
But
terms of money, yeah.
I don't think Inter should be that much of an underdog. I really don't think so.
They shouldn't.
And what has been the tale of the story this whole year and everything? The Serie A, the old school ways of Serie A, the catenaccio, the whatever.
It's been paying off.
It's been paying off.
It has.
It got 2 of them to the final.
Think about it.
It got 3. It
Well,
got
I mean, Fiorentina don't really play the way that Inter.
I mean, yeah, but the Italian way has been killing it this year.
Yeah.
But a prime example is Milan Napoli. Napoli has been the best team in Serie A this season. Well, we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
But Napoli play a different style than all Italians. They don't really defend as much. They don't play that catenaccio. When Milan played against Napoli, they're like, all right, we're going to sit back. We're going to play that way. And they won.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, though. I felt like there was a bit of karma, though, because Napoli didn't have their full team, and then Milan, the first leg against Inter, they didn't.
And
Just to
second
throw
leg.
that out.
And they had the first
I
leg.
feel like Inter were just better than Milan. And I really think
No,
if Napoli beat Milan, I think Inter still would have beat Napoli.
No, yes, but I mean, I still think the better team won for both of those games. I mean, but look, listen, the final's gonna happen.
One thing I want to add though, if Man City could potentially win the treble, but people are forgetting if Inter didn't slip up in Serie A, they could also be going for the treble.
Well, they're going to win 3 trophies if they win Coppa Italia, Champions League, and Supercoppa. That's a great
That's
season.
still a trouble, yeah.
Which people
Just
they
not
deserve
Serie
more
A.
credit than they really
Okay, well, guys, I mean, one last thing,
We got a prediction, right?
yes,
Mhm.
our predictions for this game. Don't hold back.
You start.
This is a very tough prediction. This is very tough. I hate backing up Inter, but the fate of the world rests on their hands, and I have to back up my nation.
Respect.
I see Inter beating City. I see it. I see some magic happening.
Yeah.
Like you guys said, Kri, one leg,
One
What do you
game,
think
just one
the-
game.
What do you think is the score?
one game. I think it will be 2-1.
Mhm.
I could even see 3-1. It's ridiculous to say, but I'll just stick with 2-1. I think City score first. I mean, no. I see Inter scoring the 2 goals first. I see Lautaro scoring in the first half. Lukaku coming on scoring in the second half. And I think City will score very late on in the game, but it'll be too late. I think Inter's defense will be solid. I think if they score first, Inter's chances of winning will go sky high. Will rocket.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about
I
you?
think I've been having this feeling 2-0 Inter.
Yeah.
Maybe a first half goal, either Barella or Lautaro. The second goal will come after the 90th minute at a time. Lautaro will have the second goal.
Off a counter.
Yeah.
I'll counter.
So if you got 2-0, 2-1 Inter. What about you?
Well, I mean, listen, I got 1-1 going into the extra time, and I
Okay.
see Inter winning it 2-1 in like either second half, first half, extra time. I don't see it going to penalties. I don't want to see it go to penalties, and I don't think Inter will
Yeah.
win, honestly, if they go to penalties. But that's my prediction. 1-1 and then 2-1 in the extra time.
Before I state my prediction, I already know we're going to get a lot of hate because
Oh, yeah.
we all went about Inter. I really think this game, like my brother said, depends, like the world depends on it. It's like
Yeah.
Inter, City. Everyone's talking about City. City's a tremendous team. Like, to me, this game means so much.
This is like Italy England all over again.
I really believe deep down in my heart, this is Inter's year.
yeah, no. Yeah.
And I think Inter's going to win 2-1.
God, 2-1.
I think Man City's going to score first. I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to score. In the first half, it's going to be 1-0. All the English fans are going to talk. Second half, Inzaghi's going to go in the locker room. He's going to pull off a Mourinho. And he's going to... Edin Dzeko is going to score against his former team. And he's going to be 1-1.
And he's going to celebrate
And
too.
then 2-1. The guy who's going to score the game winner is the guy who got clowned in the World Cup for all his misses. And he's going to establish why he's a phenomenal striker. Romelu Lukaku is going to win.
Yeah, I will say this to close it off. We, before the whole season started of anything, we did predict Inter would win.
My brother and I did
Yeah,
say
so
we did
we
predict
said
Inter
Inter
would-
were going to win the
We said
Champions
we just had a feeling. We're like, look at their team. It's kind of similar to the 2010 team. But look, guys. I mean, look, listen. I'm not going to discredit City. This is this is very tough game. This is a big obstacle to overcome. But I think we all have faith that. I think this is Inter's year, like we said. I hate saying it. Again, I hate Inter. I mean, you could tell, but I just have a feeling. Well, that's it, guys. You like this video, like and subscribe. You really enjoy us. We join us on Instagram and on TikTok. Follow us there. Links on our channel. Hope you enjoy this video.
Yep. There we go.
Enjoy.
Peace.
All right.